Welcome, beautiful people, and welcome back to my channel. It's your favorite NPHP, and as you can see, I'm here in my wonderful call room. And no, I did not decorate this room. The nurses decorated this room for some contest that they were having on different nursing units, and I told them to leave the lights. Like, it's so nice in here, especially when I have this light off. It's just so calm and relaxing, which leads me to the topic of this video. So I was asked about basically how stressful it is being a nurse versus a nurse practitioner, and on a scale from 0 to 10, how stressful is it to be a nurse practitioner? So let me dive in. I feel like you experience two different types of stress when being a nurse versus a nurse practitioner. As a nurse, I experience more physical stress, whereas now as a nurse practitioner, it's more mental stress. So, for example, as physical stress as a nurse, at a young age, going home with my lower back hurting, my knees hurting, my feet hurting, that wasn't appropriate. So that's what I mean by physical stress. I was physically tired and physically hurting when leaving my 12-hour shift, and that's working night shift. I worked on a high acuity unit. Total patients, assistants getting up, alcohol withdrawal, patients that were receiving blood, psych patients, just high acuity patients. And on an average night, I would walk into maybe having a psych patient, a patient that's on CWA, which means Q2 hour vital signs check, a patient that may be receiving blood. So high acuity on top of just the physical stress of running up and down, trying to answer call lights, being there at bedside, lifting heavy patients. So that's, as a nurse, what I say, the physical stress that I experience. Now, as a nurse practitioner, I've been experiencing more mental stress, definitely not physical stress. Majority of my time, I'm sitting down at a desk typing. It's no more physical stress, it's more mental stress. For example, on a busy night that I'm coming in, literally walking in, there's maybe an ERT emergency call at bedside that I need to be at. Literally have to run and drop my bags off and be at that bedside for that one patient. At the same time, we have a direct admission that just showed up that I need to see. Whereas we have a nurse calling me asking about orders or regarding anything, regarding high blood pressure, low blood pressure, or other unstable patients on the floor. The question that the nurses have on top of emergencies, on top of admission, I cover 55 patients, around 50 patients. So give or take, there's how many nurses that are working? 15 nurses who be paging me at the same time. So I mentally have to be here, thinking about this patient, looking, trying to figure out why this patient's blood pressure is low, and at the same time I'm getting called about a patient maybe trying to leave AMA, high blood sugars, low blood sugars. Just mentally me having to think and trying to come up with a solution, trying to order and treat different things at the same time, mind you, at the same time, not messing up, obviously. I could have two patients with low blood pressure, but one has a history of CHF and one doesn't. I could quickly give this one a bolus, but this one I can't. I gotta look around. This one's on dialysis. So it's like mentally, it can become very stressful. Both jobs can be extremely overwhelming at times, but they're different. I felt like as a nurse, I was more physically stressed, and that's actually the reason why I went and started looking into nurse practitioner school at my 2-year mark. I always knew I wanted to go back to school. I didn't know when, because when I graduated with my BSN and started as an RN, I had my son. So I wasn't quickly, going to rush back into school. But when I knew, I was like, this is not me. Like, I shouldn't be hurting at this age, because I worked hard. I wasn't a lazy nurse. I got stuff done. I stayed over if I needed to, and I helped. I was charge nurse, and I had to help other nurses on the floor as well. So let me answer this page. Okay, thank you. Bye. Okay, I apologize. So where was I at? Talking about how stressful the job is, how basically it got so hard on me to the point that I started looking for schools. Like, I started looking for schools, and I was like, yeah, I'm ready to go, ready to move forward in my career. So As a nurse and with the physical stress, I feel like there's no way around it. You know what I mean? There's no way around it. Especially, like I said, with mind you, I worked on a medical surgical high acuity floor. Granted, if you're working outpatient as a nurse, if you're working in a PACU, it's much different. So depending what type of nursing you do, but if you're going to a medical surgical floor, which majority of them are, you know, usually high acuity patients, it's going to be physically stressful. Mentally, I mean, you may feel at sometimes you're just so overwhelmed, you may have a mental breakdown, and you may feel like you have no control over things because of just feeling overwhelmed and everything's all happening at once. But it's not, I feel like it's not so much mental. As nurses, you're following the orders, and we're now as NPs, we have to make sure we're doing the right thing, which is why I still feel a lot comfortable, you know, collaborating with physicians, especially in emergencies and working inpatient. When the patient status changes, it's like we need to think of a plan and think of it quickly. It's stressful to the point sometimes I'll go home and it's like, kids, don't talk. I don't want to hear anything about healthcare right now. But one good thing about working in the hospital, it's like I go home and like my shift, that it ends at 7 a.m. Any updates I have to give to the day attending, I quickly send them a message and then I'm done. I don't have to think about this place until I am due back. So outpatient, there is more of a follow-up, continuous follow-up with patients. Here in the hospital, when I feel like my head's about to explode at 7 a.m., it's done. It's like, whew, breather, I'm out of here. So that's one thing I do enjoy the most about working here. If anything happened overnight, I feel like they need to know, or if they need to follow up with like an imaging I ordered early morning, I'll update them, and that's about it. I guess I should answer the ultimate question. On a scale from 0 to 10, how stressful is this NP job? Honestly, I will say 2, 3. I say 2 or 3 because, like I said, the days that I do feel overwhelmed and, you know, the most stress, it's not every day. I only work 3 days a week. There's few of those days. So I just worked this is night 3 of 3. I just worked these 3 nights. They weren't busy at all. Tonight, honestly, it felt like I didn't even do anything. I got maybe a couple pages, cross-cover pages, max, maybe 20. I did 2 admissions and that's it. Granted, my second admission that I did, it was I won't say difficult case, but it just complex history, and it just took me longer to finish, just to making sure I'm getting all the information, getting everything right. And, you know, it was a transfer from an outside hospital for just like reading through things, it just took me longer, but I won't say it was hard. And at the same time, like, I have the assistance, you know, of the doctor to help me, and I worked with my favorite doctor tonight, which was, well, the last 3 nights, which helps a lot. So like I said, being a nurse, I feel like it's more physically stressful. Being an NP is more mentally stressful. Both, you're going to feel overwhelmed at times. As a nurse, I felt I was overwhelmed more often than what I'm doing now. So I'm about to hit my 2-year mark, and at my 2-year mark as a nurse, that's when I started applying and I started grad school. So right now, like, I love this job. I don't see me going anywhere unless I move. I'm comfortable. Like I said, not every night. These 3 nights were when I could say it was easy. Granted, it's only, what time is it? It's only 6:20 right now, and we could have an emergency happen in the next couple seconds. It's a lot better when we work with a good team, and I work with a wonderful hospitalist team, wonderful doctors. We have a group of almost over 100 doctors, and so far they are all amazing. As a nurse, I had an amazing boss, and I had an amazing group of nurses that always helped. Those were ways that helped me through my stressful times. I hope this video helped you a lot. And for my other fellow nurses out there, my fellow NPs, please comment below how stressful it is being a nurse versus a nurse practitioner, and what do you guys feel are your stressors. You know, I was just more high acuity. Like I said, I worked on a med surg floor. I know some of you nurses maybe are in the ICU, or nurses that are outpatient and you're working in the PACU. I don't know the stressors you guys go through. So if you guys have experience in those areas, or any other fellow NPs, leave comments below, because this is only from, you know, my standpoint, my experience. I know others can help answer these questions too. I think I made a right decision in going back because now it's like I look at these nurses running. Some of the nurses, they're crying, and just for how stressful it is. And it's just like the stuff that made it stressful, like with the psych patients and the combative, the agitated, is like we don't handle that anymore. The nurses have to be the one at bedside. The nurses have to be the one to call security. What do? I will order the Ativan. I will order the Geodon. I will order the Zyprexa to help, calm and treat the symptoms. But everything else, all that other stressful stuff, I pushed that to this. I got rid of that. I did. And I feel like with the mental stress that I am going through, that I may experience, I think it will get better with time. So just being able to like quickly read through charts, knowing what's important to look for. My example with the low blood pressure, what's the first thing you want to look for? Are they on dialysis? Because we can't just bolus them. Or do they have heart failure? We can't just bolus them. So I know that the first thing I do, look at allergies, see if they have any CHF, see if they're on dialysis. Did they just receive blood pressure medication? Did they just receive pain medication? Any reasons why they are hypotensive? I have the knowledge right now to critically think, to help decrease that mental stress that I go through. Granted, it is going to come when you are busy. There's things thrown at me in 20 different directions. Yeah, it's going to be there, but I could easily weave through it. You know what I mean? It could easily weave through it quickly. For example, with me doing admissions, when I first started, the length of time it took me to admit a patient was like 2 hours for one patient. Now I could knock out 2 patients in an hour. So that's why I rate it as a 3 out of 10, because I feel like with time, I will become quicker. I'll be more knowledgeable. That's just how it works. And I just remembered one of the doctors was showing me the other call rooms, and he had asked me, do I take naps here? And I said, hell no, I don't take naps, because I feel like when I wake up, if there's an emergency, I get paged and I wake up, just won't be all the way there, and I don't want to be in that predicament ever. And he said, oh no, with time you'll be able to take a nap and wake up when there's an ERT called. And I'm just like, well, I'm not there yet. Not you guys, the doctors are there. Doctors could take a nap and wake up and run a code, not I. Not me. And that's another thing. Know where you're at, know what you can handle, have ways to relieve stress. You guys know I am in the gym at least 5 days a week. That's my hobby. That's my stress reliever. And I think I'm going to go today. Maybe not right after, but maybe I'll take a nap and then go later on in the afternoon. Just know ways that you could decrease your stress, relieve your stress, be able to vent. There's a couple of nurses that I vent to. My 3 closest nurses that are on this unit, maybe 4. I vent, especially when I'm overwhelmed. I vent, get it off my chest, and then I'd be like, all right, I gotta get back to work. That shall conclude this video. Please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss a video with your favorite NPHP. Until next time.